I accidentally put my hand on my female coworker's shoulder. That alone made her completely misunderstand my intentions. And faced with such tempting allure, I accepted it without a second thought. But after the passion came endless regret when I carefully returned home. What greeted me was my wife and children dressed up beautifully.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daddy. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, darling.
I love you, Daddy. I love you too.
This warm scene filled me with deep guilt, so the next day I politely declined my coworker's invitation. Then I went to the small theater to pick up my wife after work. But at that moment, my wife felt extremely frustrated because her performance had failed. After noticing her disappointment, I did my best to comfort her and told her that if she didn't like it, she could quit her job entirely. I alone was absolutely capable of supporting the whole family, but for my wife, she had already given up far too much for this family. The art she had struggled so hard to pursue had now become nothing more than a means of survival. This was not the life she wanted.
Let's talk about this, okay?
Please don't do that.
Oh, come on now.
Don't touch me.
April.
Just leave me alone!
My wife's attitude made a surge of anger rise in me for no reason, so I stopped caring about her feelings.
Number one, it's not my fault that the play was lousy, okay? Number two, it sure as hell isn't my fault that you didn't turn out to be an actress. And the sooner you get over that little piece of soap opera, the better off we're both going to be. Number three, I don't happen to fit the role of dumb, insensitive suburban husband. You've been trying to lay that crap on me ever since we moved out here, and I'm damned if I'll wear it. Number four, April!
The closer two people are, the more hurtful their harsh words become. Perhaps realizing that I'd gone too far, I quickly got out of the car to follow her and apologize. But both of us were already at the peak of our anger. My attempts at comfort not only failed, they instead sparked a second argument.
I know I'm not in the wrong here.
Christ, I wish you'd stayed
You know
home
what you
tonight.
are when you're like this, April? You're sick. I really mean that. You're sick!
Do you know what you are?
What?
You're disgusting!
Oh, yeah?
You don't fool me, Frank. Just because you got me safely in this little trap, you think you can bully me into feeling whatever you want me to feel.
in a trap!
Yes,
You
yes,
in a trap!
Me,
Jesus
Frank!
Christ!
Me!
Don't make me laugh!
Pathetic, self-deluded little boy! Look at you and tell me how by any stretch of the imagination you can call yourself a man!
Look. Oh, Jesus Christ!
After a fierce fight, we both returned to the car, forcing ourselves to calm down, because we both knew there were two children at home waiting for their parents to return. The next morning I got up early, preparing to repeat that monotonous routine once again, but unlike before. This time my eyes were filled with reluctance. As I looked around the house again and again, I couldn't understand why a place once filled with warmth had now become something I despised so deeply. My wife was no longer the gentle and caring person beside my pillow. Instead, it was my female coworker's admiring gaze. That seemed to better understand the desires deep in my heart. Trapped in this sense of despair, I once again agreed to my coworker's request to have dinner together. Under the influence of alcohol, our emotions gradually began to heat up, and this time again, I failed to control myself.
A wealthy man accidentally fell from a rooftop. When he woke up, he found himself turned into a small kitten. He was raised as a pet by his daughter. At that moment, his ex-wife came to visit. She even brought two little dogs with her. The wealthy man was so frightened that he could only run away in panic. Luckily, his daughter saved him in time, and the two dogs were tied up as well. Just then, the wealthy man heard his ex-wife speaking badly about him, so he crawled into the woman's bag and left some liquid inside, and even used his paws to get her attention. Soon, a chaotic scuffle began. The ex-wife was completely toyed with by him, and in the end, she was rescued by the daughter again. The helpless woman decided to find a boss who could understand cat language, hoping to find a way to make the kitten behave. The next day, the wealthy man saw that the person who arrived was the very boss who had turned him into a cat. He urgently tried to reveal his true identity, but the boss did not understand him at all. Instead, he turned to the woman and said that if the kitten did not behave, he would arrange a medical procedure for it. As soon as those words were spoken, the wealthy man immediately behaved. He ate his cat food. He cooperated during bath time, and the woman watched with great relief. But that day, the wealthy man heard the woman talking to another man on the phone. He could not help feeling that she might be seeing someone else. In his anxiety, he grabbed the car keys, trying to stop her from going out. The woman chased after him the whole way and ended up hitting the stairs. She lunged forward trying to catch him, but missed completely. In the end, she used the medical procedure as a threat, and only then did the wealthy man obediently put down the keys. But he still refused to give up. Looking down from the tall building, he jumped without hesitation. Fortunately, there was a tent below that softened the fall, and he landed perfectly. Then he quietly slipped into the car. But when he arrived, he realized that the man was only a real estate agent because he had been too busy making money in the past. He had neglected his family, and his wife had already been preparing to divorce him. But now that he was lying in the hospital, she gave up on that idea. When the wife returned home, she comforted her daughter, saying that her father would definitely wake up. But the daughter hid in her room, watching a video of herself dancing with her father and quietly crying. So the wealthy man began trying to cheer his daughter up. They seemed to return to how things used to be. Only then did the wealthy man realize that he had spent far too little time with his daughter recently. Just then his daughter's friend came over and secretly sent photos to a group chat. So the wealthy man snatched the phone and threw it into the toilet. In the evenings, the wealthy man would help his daughter with her homework, and he would also watch the sunrise together with his wife. At the same time, trouble broke out at the company. The son discovered that the shareholders were planning to sell the company. The wealthy man also learned about this through the newspaper, so he secretly crawled into his son's document box and made his way to the company. Seeing his son working hard to save the business, he went into the office, planning to leave all his shares to his son, but he was accidentally put into a shredder by an employee. After the two shareholders left with peace of mind, the wealthy man climbed onto the model building, staggered back and forth a few times, and smashed the model directly onto the shredder. The son heard the noise and rushed over, and discovered the scattered company documents. The next day, the daughter secretly brought the kitten to a pet shop. She felt that the kitten might actually be her father.
Damn! Now shut your mouth and listen up.
The hitman disguised himself as a cop and took out the guard in charge of watching the prisoners. His goal was to break out his cousin. Matt tried to unlock his shackles, but the guard wasn't carrying the keys. The killer had no choice but to escape with the other three prisoners. Matt grabbed the guard's pistol and opened fire on the officers downstairs. Chaos erupted in the courthouse in an instant. The guards tried to slam the doors shut to block the prisoners' escape route, but the hitman had no intention of making a run for the front exit. By the time the police arrived at the scene, the prisoners were long gone. After an investigation, the commander quickly identified the four fugitives. Matt was the most dangerous of the bunch. He has been involved in multiple cases, including murder and extortion. The killer who planned the prison break was Matt's cousin. Both of them were high-ranking members of a Mexican drug cartel. The other three escapees were just small-time street thugs posing little threat. Hicks ordered the SWAT team to launch a manhunt for the fugitives immediately, but he never imagined that Matt had no intention of running away at all.
We don't leave tonight. 2 pieces of business first.
Meanwhile, the police have identified a fugitive. Hondo personally led a team to raid the prisoner's hideout, but Adam wasn't here at the moment. The only person in the room was a gangbanger named Kent. Hondo pressured Kent to cooperate with the police. All he had to do was make a phone call to lure Adam into a trap.
Make that call. On speaker.
Yeah, man, I got the car. The police are here! Toss the cell! Don't come near me!
When I finally climbed up the pipe, I was totally shocked. The prison wasn't in some crack. It was on a massive cargo ship, and there were guards everywhere, so I had no choice but to turn back. By now, the flood had already reached the isolation cells. The warden quickly ordered the inmates to be moved back. Meanwhile, I was crawling back as fast as I could. I had to make it back before the guards showed up. Otherwise, I'd be totally screwed. Luckily, I made it back just in time. Crisis averted. But when the warden came to inspect, he noticed those loose rivets. His guys figured the water pressure must have pushed them out, but he wasn't buying it. Back in his office, he made a mysterious phone call. Turns out, the person on the other end was my boss. Yeah, he was the mastermind behind all this. He wanted the warden to keep me locked up forever. That way, all my assets would be his. And the warden, he wanted the fame. If he could keep the escape king locked up for life, this place would become the most secure prison in the country. His name would go down in history, and inmates would come pouring in. To stop me from escaping again, the best strategy was to drain all my energy. So every night at lights out, he had the guards bang on the glass non-stop. I couldn't get a moment of sleep. The second I started dozing off, they'd come in and beat the hell out of him. Day after day of this torture, I could barely even stand it, let alone plan anything else. After each beating, they'd send me to the infirmary. Once I healed up, they'd beat me again. Just rinse and repeat. Rotmeier kept encouraging me from his cell. You gotta stay strong. And of course, I wasn't gonna let him break me. Meanwhile, my crew on the outside finally tracked me down. I was in a prison at sea. To escape this place, I needed to figure out where this ship was located. I decided to give it another shot, so I had Rotmeier stab me on purpose. That way I'd get sent to the infirmary. But when I asked the doctor, he was too scared to talk. If he said anything, he'd be a dead man too, so I had to go with